Alright, Shalom, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakah, Kodash. I like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. I like to say Shalom to the elect that teaches word in all true faith and sincerity. And yeah, today I just want to title this lesson, the iniquity of the Edomites are fulfilled. Which is the so-called white man. So this devil, during his time, his reign of terror, pretty much he had fulfilled his course, because within each rulership the Lord have laid out throughout the course of time, they had a certain mission to play out, with the Egyptians, from the Babylonians, the Persians, the Medes, the Romans, all the way up to this time. They all had a certain lot to play out during that rulership. And it haven't changed with the so-called white man, which we coming to the height, pretty much the last step in this man, his mission, which is implementing this RFID microchip, which is the mark of the beast, man. So we at the end of this thing. So-called white man, he's finished. And then you see a lot of brothers say that in the past tense because it's already written in the scriptures, man. So I'm going to start out with the book of Romans. The book of Romans, chapter 13 and verse 12. It says, the night is far spent. See? So the night is far spent. This man, in his reign of terror, it has already ran its course. He already taken over the resource on the planet Earth. The two woes already have passed, which we waiting on the third woe now. Like I said, these certain things already have been fulfilled under the so-called white man in this rulership. But now we come into the last handful of the last prophecies, man, which is the chip and the destruction, man. But before all that, all hell is going to break loose, man. So it says, the night is far spent, the day is at hand. See, and how we know it's at hand? Through these series of events that's playing out throughout the planet Earth. That is the gauge to let us know where we at, man. Matter of fact, let's get this in the book of 2 Ezra 9th chapter. Because how we know the night is far spent? Through the series of events that's playing out, on the planet Earth. That's what Yahushua told us to look for. He gave us the heads up on what to look for to see for his sign, for his coming, And what you see now, it tells you in the book of St. Luke 21st chapter, you're going to see signs in the heavens as well as signs on the earth, man. So we very well much in that time. So this is 2 Ezra 9 and 1. It said, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. See, so how are you measuring the time? It says, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, see, so meaning what? We line up the times with the precepts. When the scriptures say, we just like pulling out a tape measure. We stretching it all the way out to Revelation 13 and 16. And guess what? This time is lining up with the scripture. Things written in Jeremiah dealing with the downfall of Babylon, Jeremiah 51, also Jeremiah 49, from the 7th all the way to the 22nd verse. That's all talking about this time we in now, man. That's how we measure the time through what the scriptures say. And it's being made very clear, obvious, that this is that time period. And it was going to be under the watch of the so-called white man, the Edomites. This is where the end was going to come through, under the banner of the Edomites. So this is 2 Ezra 9 and 2. It says, then shalt thou understand. See, then we're going to understand. Now we got a feeling. It tells a wise man is going to discern both time and judgment. See? Now we understand the times when it is. Because this message comes with a sense of urgency, man. Because at any day now, the waters can break, man. So it says, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Which world? It's talking about the world of Esau, man. Or it tells you that in the book of Hebrews, the first chapter, Yahushua, he made the worlds, But this world right here, this is where the Lord is going to ultimately show his power. This is how the Lord once again is going to get his fame through this rulership. So the Lord set up the so-called white man to be a punching bag, you know, to show his power. That's why this man got fighter jets. He got tanks and shit. He got these super soldiers now. He got sentinels, you know. Well, the Lord set this nigga up just so when he get thrown down, they let you know he's the higher power, because it tells you that in the book of Revelation 13 chapter. You know, these other nations marvel and say, who's going to be able to make war with the beast? Well, that question is answered in Revelation 19 chapter. It's going to be Yahweh Shai. And that war is being waged now by the way of this word, man. You know? But it says, let's go back to 2 Ezra 9 and verse 3. It says, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. See, so that's how we know we pretty much at the tail end of the so-called white man, his rulership, man. We at the tail end of this thing. That's why, because it just says you see earthquakes and uproars of the people. Now that earthquakes, that's literal earthquakes, because these earthquakes happening every day. You know, it's frequently earthquakes happening every day, but also it's earth-shaking events, man. Hey, the crown, that was actually an earthquake. That actually shook the earth up. That's why they call it a pandemic, because it actually affected the earth, man. What happened in Beirut? You know, with that pocket nuke went out. That was an earth-shaking event. You know, with what happened to the Capitol up there in D.C.? That was actually an earth-shaking event, man. So you got earthquakes, but you got also certain events that actually shake the planet Earth up, man. You know, so that's how we very well know what time we in now, through these series of events that's playing out on the planet Earth, especially here in the Babylon the Great, man. That let us know that we at the very end of so-called white man and his rulership. That's why I said the night is far spent. He has ran his course. We coming to now, he's pretty much have been ripened for destruction now, man. You know, so let's go back. 2 Ezra 9 and 5 said, for like as all that is made in the world have a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. So just like we see now, the end is manifest. Just like when a flower blossoms to its fullness, you know, or when the orange tree, when it started budding and to bring forth the fruit, it began to be made manifest that is ripe when you see oranges start falling and shit. You know, when you see certain things happening, that's how we know we at the end. You know, it says, even so, the times also the highest have plain beginnings and wonders and powerful works, and endings and effects and signs. And that lets you know, Lord is a husbandman, man. All the works of Yahweh Shema Shai is a process. It's a build-up, especially to this point right here, this time we in now, America. That's what the scriptures constantly talk about. Talking about the destruction of America, because this time period we in, this moment, you know, always build up to this perfect day. Man, we're gonna talk about this forever, man. We coming into the climax of life. So you don't think the scriptures constantly harp on that, you know? And it was gonna be through the under the watch of the so-called white man. It was gonna happen through his rulership, you know. So matter of fact. And like I said, it was going to be throughout the course of time that the Lord gave this man a rule. But within that, he had certain things to fulfill, man. You know, which now we know we at the time. That's why the only thing we can talk about now is the chip. Because that's the last step to this thing, man, before the destruction. So this is Habakkuk 2. In verse 3, it says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time. See, and it's not just talking about the vision of Habakkuk. It's ultimately talking about the scriptures as a whole, man. Now, it's certain things that's written within the scriptures that have came to pass, but ultimately, the old tone of it was really pointing towards this time period right here, man. You know, it was really pointing towards this time period right here, man. America, Babylon the Great. This is where these great plays and things are going to happen. This is the venue the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai have chosen, you know, to once again show his power. And to gain fame throughout the planet Earth. Which the first step is us claiming these judgments before they actually happen, man. So when they do happen, I don't think you can say that was Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, you know. But it says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time. But at the end, it shall speak and not lie. See, and when was the end going to play out? Through Esau. Let's get that. Let's get that in the book of 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter. Salakia. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6, and verse 7. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first? In the beginning of it that follows. See, so what Ezra was ultimately asking was, when is the end going to be? When will Israel be the top once again? You know, the cream of the crop. You know, when will these other nations be subdued under us, man? You know, when's going to be what it says? When shall be the end of the first, and the beginning of it that follows? And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him. See, as you can see, that was a build up within itself. Tell about Jacob and Isaac, but you built it up to ultimately Jacob and Esau, because that's when it came down to. Because you had Abraham, you know, he had eight seeds, but it was a chosen line. Out of that, Isaac was the chosen. Then through Isaac, which that's our Lord Yahweh, you can receive, let you know the balance of the Lord. It was between Jacob and Esau, the righteous of the wicked, man. That was going to be the two major characters within the movie, because between those two, you know, those were the ones that was going to actually have the whole planet Earth in suggestion, man. You know, these former kingdoms before, they always had a certain region that they reigned. You know, you had which I think it was the Babylonians, I believe, or the Persian and Medes. It was one of them. I believe it was the Persian and Medes. They had the 128 provinces, man. So meaning what? They didn't have the planet Earth. It was only in this time where you seen the first actually that played out through Esau. You know, this beast system, this devil actually had the planet Earth in suggestion, man. But it said the one that followed it was going to be Jacob, because when you go into it, Jacob and Esau, they had when the fatness of the earth that was given to Jacob, you know, but it was also given to Esau. But the Esau blessing hill was temporal, man. That's why Isaac also kept his blessing off by the way you're gonna have the sword, because that was gonna ultimately overthrow him, man. You know. But it says, read this again. It says, and he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the hill of Esau, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. See, so as you can see, things concerning the end, when it talks about the end, and in that day, when it shall come to pass, guess what? 9 times out of 10, guess what? It was going to be in this time period right here, under the watch of Esau, under the rulership of this devil, man. You know, so let's go back to the book of Habakkuk 2 and verse 3. It says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. See, meaning what? Now it's making sense. You know, it's going to speak. It's going to be made clear of what the scriptures is talking about. It's going to be very well much known what Ezekiel was talking about, what in the book of Revelation, what John was seeing. Because we at that time, you know, it says, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. Yeah, it's going to surely come. As you can see, everything we've been saying, you know, it actually been happening, man. Why? Because we speaking the words of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Matter of fact, let's get this in the book of because really, ultimately, Esau, he's really doing what we saying, man. You know, because these actually are the words of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Let's get this real quick. Bear with me. Bear with me. Yeah, because everything we saying, pretty much Esau is doing it. Why? Because we speaking the words of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. So this is 1 Samuel 3 and 19. It said, and Samuel grew, and the Lord was with him. See, and don't you see that now? You know, starting with the apostles and elders, a great millstone, man. The Lord is dealing with those men, man. Why? Because you see growth. You know, you see that now the apostles ain't had to go outside of New York. Just them putting, these videos on the internet. You got this thing have grown, man. You got men in certain pressure points here throughout the planet Earth, man. Why? Because it says that Samuel grew and the Lord was with him. So as you can see, starting with the apostles and elders, the Lord was with them because you see the growth, man. And it says, and did let none of his words fall to the ground. So everything you seeing that we speak on, you seeing it actually coming to pass. Now it's to the point you gotta entertain martial law. You gotta entertain the family. You actually gotta talk about the chip now. Because none of the words is falling to the ground, because we really speaking the words of Yahweh Shah. And another thing we saying is that this devil is gonna come down with Gorilla. He feel that pressure is on his heel, man. He understand that his time is up, his reign of terror is over with. So he's gonna do everything in his power to add an extra second on his rulership. This is gonna contribute to his great wrath. This man is frustrated. This word is foiling his plans. And what's contributing to him even knowing it? We telling him. Matter of fact, let's get this in the book of this is the book of what's that? Wisdom of Solomon 2. Wisdom of Solomon, the 2nd chapter. This is Wisdom of Solomon 2 and verse. Let's see if I can start at a good point. Okay, this is Wisdom of Solomon 2 and verse. I started at 12. It reads, I started at 11. It says, let our strength be the law of justice. See, and that's the way you got a thing called the power of the pen. Because that's what these devils, that's their precepts. Through their laws, that's how they try to combat you. That's their form of precepts through these laws and legislation. Well, these niggas got thousands and countless of laws and legislation that this nigga have putting in law, man. But that's his strength. That's what he leaned on. That's why you got a thing called mandatory now, and there's a watered down version of that word which is named is required, or they want to throw you off. They'll just say compulsory, which all of it mean mandatory, We're just gonna get to the point where these laws and legislations, you getting the jab and ultimately you getting the chip is gonna be mandatory, man. So this is what this nigga trust in, because if you don't do it, that's when the military is gonna get involved, which the military is already involved. Those are the ones that's gonna present the jab to. When you look at these different news articles or these clips, who you seeing somebody in the army fatigue rolling your sleeves up and giving you the jab, man. But it says, read it again. It said, let our strength be the law of justice, for that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth. See? So man, what they anything else, which really is the words of Yahweh Shema Shai, they see it as feeble. It tells they cast the words behind them, man. So they trusting in their laws and legislation. It says, therefore let us lie in wait for the righteous, because he is not for our turn. See, we are not for the turn of the Edomites. We're not for this man ruling. We're not for America. We don't want this man to continue to rule. We want him to be violently overthrown. That's what we're crying out for to Yahweh Shema Shai for. That's why we want the destruction. We need that to happen. We're not for this man's turn. It says, and he is clean contrary to our doing. See? Because, yeah, we go off, but he is off. We do, our people, we do wickedly, but he is the wicked, man. He is the source of the wickedness. See, with the so-called white man, he the one that accommodates you. He accommodates your wickedness. He's the plug for wickedness. If you want to be a faggot, well, this nigga will conjure up an app so you can, you know what I mean? So it's this nigga, he's the source behind it. We're clean contrary to this man, though. Matter of fact, let's get something real quick. This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon 14 and verse 9. It says, for the ungodly and his ungodliness, see, are both alike hateful unto the Most High. So you had the ungodly, but he brings forth ungodliness. That's just like when you smell some stink in the air. It had to come from somewhere. It came from somebody's ass, man. You know? So guess what? Same thing with wickedness on the planet Earth. It had to come from somewhere. It came from the so-called white man. You know? Yeah, you had well, you can go into the scriptures where you had the Sodomites, the Hamites. They was pretty much the ones that kind of, you know, they was known for being faggots. But with the so-called white man, this nigga actually took it down. Let's say he'll have the people of Sodom and Gomorrah and those neighboring cities. They was here in this time, they would be uncomfortable, man. You know? Because this nigga took freakism to the highest level, man. You know? So let's go back. Wisdom of Solomon 2, it tells you wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole planet Earth. You know? So what they did back then don't got nothing to compare. This nigga actually got the technology to flip your rod inside out and turn it into a box. You don't think that this is not the height of wickedness, man? Before you even ask a motherfucker to see got a man, you gotta consider this nigga is a man. You know? The food that you looking at the ingredients, you shouldn't have to look at the ingredients if it just say 100% apple juice. It should just be, you know, apple juice. So we at the height of wickedness on all levels, man. And that's why I said, because this nigga like to point out black on black crime. But what this nigga did on a global scale, you know? So though I said he's clean contrary to our doings. It said he upbraided us with our offending the law. And then we get on this nigga, man. You know? And I just upbraid this nigga offending the law. Because everything this nigga puts forth and put in law is totally contrary to what Yahweh Shema Shai laid forth, man. You know? And that's to let you know where we are in the we in that time. We in the time of the threshing, man. Because even back then you had these kings and these former kingdoms, you know, these past kingdoms, rulerships, they acknowledge Yahweh Shema Shai one way, form, and fashion. You know, even though they didn't fully commit to the Lord, they did at least acknowledge Yahweh Shema Shai. But what this nigga did, it's a knowledge increase. This nigga, his technology, he see things in the heavens, you know, he see things in the sea, you know. But with this nigga then, through his pride and his hard-headedness, he's not going to bow down to Yahweh Shema Shai. And even in that, on top of that, he said, you know what? It was a Big Bang Theory, and we came out on top. Somehow, so-called white man rolled the dice and it fell on their favor, man. You know? So this is the time where judgment going to happen at a global scale. And that's why we're in a time where it's called a second death. Once again, the days of Noah. You know? So it says, he upbraided us with our offending the law and objected to our infamy, the transgressions of our education. See? So ultimately, this man is off, man. And we were proving him on it. And the only medicine to really to heal this is ultimately destruction, man. You know? All hell breaking loose. But that's because that's the only way the counsel is gonna get out, is by the way of this fire. And it started by the way of this word. Matter of fact, let's get this in the book of 2 Ezra 16. It started by the way of this word, but it's ultimately going to manifest and morph into physical fire, you know, into the physical sword. Because we speaking these things, then it ultimately going to happen. So let's see, let's get this in 2 Ezra 16. And I start at 3. It said, a sword is sent upon you, and who may turn it back? A fire sent among you, and who may quench it? See, so and the key word in that is sent. Who sent it? Yahweh Shema Shai. So is the Lord the one that orders the hit, and it's written within the scriptures. But we have to speak it first, and it's not going to be turned back. It's not like the Lord going to renege on these things, because ultimately this was a build up all the way back from before the world began. It was a build up to this moment right here, man. You know. Egypt was just a prelude to what the Lord is going to do to this place, you know. Because that's why the Lord, Babylon, that was a prelude. Nineveh, that was a prelude. Sodom and Gomorrah, all those was a prelude to what Yahweh Shema Shai gonna do to this place, because when you go into these certain scenarios they played out throughout the scriptures, you know, certain events, that was really, it was prophecy behind those things. You know, that's why the Lord considered this place as Egypt, or Nineveh, or Sodom, because they all came with a judgment. But guess what? Here in America, all these judgments are going to happen at its height, man. You know, matter of fact, because like I said, the iniquity of the Edomites are fulfilled. This devil has ran this course, all these things that this man have done. You don't think he's going to get paid back for these things? You know, the scripture said this nigga is not going to escape with the spoils. See, his reward is coming, which is what he been pushing forth, death and destruction. This is what's about to come back to this place. So this is 2nd Ezra 15, and I'm going to start at, I start at 5. It says, Behold, said the Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. See, these are the things that's coming to this place, man. And what else can we say? Like, really, like, that's why Yahushai, you know, he made, you know, that was a perfect analogy of aligning this same time period to the days of Noah. Because what could Noah really tell you in that time? You was going to die, unless you was in an ark. And what was so cold, the Lord, when he gave Noah the dimensions, it was only set up for him and his household. It wasn't really for set up for anybody that did repent to come in. The Lord already knew they weren't going to repent, man. So that's why those dimensions, when it was set up, it was already reserved seats on the ark, man. And the same thing here today is reserved seats on the chariots, man, which is the elect, man. You know? So for the ones that's pretty much this message is for death and destruction. That's for the people of this world. The one that subscribes to this system. You don't have to be a full-blooded patriot, you know, to subscribe to this system. If you need America to continue, guess what? You about to suffer those plagues as well. It says, for wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. See? So meaning what? We at the time of the threshing. We at the ripeness of destruction, man. You know? We at the ripeness of destruction. This man have ran his course. You know? Oh, like I said, certain things had to play out with this devil and his rulership, man. He had to, it tells you that the three horns, he had to, those devils, the French American War, the Spanish American, the British American, you know, so-called gain independence. Yeah, I mean, they had to take over the natives, you know, pretty much this so-called manifest destiny. That actually had to happen because the scripture said it was going to happen. But when it was fulfilled, then the Lord was going to, you know, step in and, you know, matter of fact, let's get this in the book of 2nd Ezra, the 4th chapter. Like I said, it's a process. It's a build-up with Yahweh Shema Shai. Like Egypt, the Lord set up Egypt. It was set up for Joseph to go down, to be sold to the Egyptians, you know, to get them built up. Because through Joseph, you know, they became a superpower, you know. Because through that famine, that's how Egypt became a superpower, you know. But it was Joseph breaking down that dream and preserving them. But ultimately, it was set up for them to be overthrown, man. You know, so let's get this in the book of 2nd Ezra 4. And that's why they had all, because, you know, what it tells you in Genesis 15, which, Lord, we won't go into get that, but it said the people came out with a great substance. How did Egypt get that great substance? They had the people, it got to the point where that famine hit, people was getting them livestock, got to the point they were getting them gold, and it ultimately came to the point they gave themselves up. You know, but all that happened during that rulership. So ultimately, when it happened, you know, through that time they was ruling, you know, certain things play out during that rulership. But once it was fulfilled, now it's time to go to the next chapter. You know, so let's get this in the book of 2nd Ezra 4 and 37, and it reads, "By measure have he measured the times, and by number have he numbered the times." See. So you can see the Lord measured the times. It was a certain measurement that this man had to fulfill, you know, and he numbered the times as well. So meaning what? Throughout the course, it was a certain period of time Lord gave this man so many years to rule. But within those many years, he had a certain measurement to fulfill, man. And ultimately, we come to that time where the last step is this man implementing this microchip, which is the MOB, man. You know? So it says, by measure have he measured the time, and by number have he numbered the times, and he doth not move nor stir them until the said measure be fulfilled. See? So meaning what? Things had to happen first before he get overthrown. And it lets you know prophecy is order within prophecy, man. Because destruction can't come before the chip. It won't make no sense for the chip to come after the destruction, man. You know, so he's living up to his measure, man. You know, he's living up to his measure. So let's go back to 2 Kings 15 real quick. 2 Kings 15 and verse 6 again. It says, for wickedness has exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and the hurtful works are fulfilled. See, so now we're coming at a time where his earthly works, everything it has ran its course. The night is far spent. You know, it has did what it was supposed to do. Now we coming at a time where he's now is about to be threshed. We coming at a time of reaping, because everything is fulfilled now. We coming into that time where everything is reaching ahead. You know. So matter of fact, let's get this in the book of Revelation, the 14th chapter. Revelation 14, and I started Revelation 14 and 17. And it reads, and another angel came out of the temple which is in heaven. He also having a sharp sickle, which that sharp sickle, you want to bring that out when it's time to harvest, man. When it's time to reap. When it's ran its course at the end of it. You know. Matter of fact, let's get some real quick. I believe that's Matthew 13. Let's see. Bear with me. Well, this is another one, matter of fact. This St. Matthew 13. Let's see. Matter of fact, here you go. That's it. Slocky. Here you go. Come. This is St. Matthew 13. And I started at 37. He answered and said unto them, he that soweth the good seed is the Son of Man. The field is the world. See, and that lets you know this is the stage where things play out at. That's why I just quoted the book of St. Luke 21. It said it's going to be signs in the heaven, but as well as on the planet Earth, because this is the place of judgment. Under the signs is the place of judgment where the earth at. That's why you got pain receptors and shit, man. This is what judgment take place. You know? But it says, the field is the world, the seed are the children of the kingdom, but the tares are the children of the wicked one. Which we know the tares are the chocolate Edomites, but it's also the ones that's ascribed to this devil, man. You know? Because it's going to be a separation, man. It's going to be either you on the planet Earth to be delivered or to be destroyed, man. You know? Even the ones that are going to be reserved after the destruction, they're going to be destroyed because they're going to be destructured. You know? But it says, it reads, the enemy that sowed them is the devil, the harvest is the end of the world, and the reapers are the angels. See, so the harvest, that lets you know, when they brought out that sickle, that lets you know that's the end, that's the fullness. It has ran its course. You know, like I said, if you see an orange tree, it gets to the point the orange is gonna start falling, man. You know, the spirit, hey, it's a pecan tree, you know, right here, and you know it's right when them pecans start falling, man. So what else can you do but pluck it? You know? And that's what we see now through these series of events, you know, everything that's taking place on the planet Earth, Lord, you know, you just compelled to pluck it. That's why these people are, they ready to be taken, to be plucked, you know? Because now we at the end of this thing. It has ran its course. This devil has fulfilled you know, his mission, so to speak, to wreak havoc on the planet Earth, you know, to bring forth wickedness. And the last step was to implement that chip, you know. So let's back Revelation 14 and verse 17 again. It said, another angel came out of the temple which is in heaven, he also having a sharp sickle. And another angel came out from the altar which had power over fire, see, and cried with a loud cry to him that had the sharp sickle, saying, thrust in that sharp sickle, and gather the clusters of the vine, for her grapes are fully ripe. See, so as you can see, for this one right here, for the ones that's getting gathered by this angel, they're gonna be cast into the fire, man. Which that's gonna be the results. Which that's what happened when you grab those withering twigs. When it's all withered, that's for fire. That's good. That's good for kindling fire, man. And that's what these people. That's why they full off McDonald's. You know, they got that damn. You know, their diet. You know, they're fat for the slaughter, man. You know, but we at the time where it's about to be, everything is fulfilled. It has ran its course. It's ripened for destruction, man. You know. How you doing? Yeah, you having a good day?
Yeah.
That's good. You too. Alright. Okay, so matter of fact, let me go back to St. Matthew 13, matter of fact. St. Matthew 13 and 40 in verse 40. It said, as therefore the tares are gathered and burned in the fire, so shall it be in the end of the world. And where you going to be gathered at here in America? Meaning what? You're going to be left in this place, man. You know, especially here in this place. If you were born in America, you got a destiny. You got two choices. Either it was going to be for deliverance or destruction, man. Because this is the land, this is the venue where the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shah is going to show his power, man. Now, throughout the planet Earth, other parts of the world is going to get judged. You know, the land of Israel, that place got to be cleansed. You know, Russia, China, those parts are going to get hit as well. But the main state, the main event is here in America, man. Because that's the head of this devil, man. The whore that's riding the beast. So if the whore riding the beast, that means she the one that's controlling, you know, where this motherfucker go. And through America, America is the source of how people think, the trends. The reason why you got Edomites, they women wearing leggings, that shit came from America. You got Moabites wearing 3-piece suits. Oh, you actually got fat Moabites now. You got actually morbidly obese Moabites. That shit came from America, man. This is the source of these things. Matter of fact, let's get there in the book of Proverbs, chapter 22, and verse Slakia. I think it's Proverbs 22, bear with me. Yeah, Proverbs chapter 22 and verse 14. The mouth of strange women is a deep pit, see? So the mouth of the strange woman, meaning with the rhetoric of America, is a deep pit. It further keeps you in derision, man. Because if you subscribe to America now, you got down, the only way out in your mind is through school, got down get a rap career, you better got down hit the gym and try to become a basketball player, you're gonna sell dope, become a faggot and so-called get a good job, you know? That's the deep pit. It's keeping you in further derision. You still bound. You still in the cadre of Babylon. You need this play to continue so you can continue. That's the mindset this devil gives you. That if once he get out the way, everybody else get out the way. When it talks about the end of the world, that means everybody going. If he ain't ruling, nobody is. That's what this nigga put in your mind. That's why you got that spirit. You can't beat them, join them spirit. You got Jason selling out, because of the mouth of this woman. Because this is the only way you think that this is going to be relief. But it says the mouth of a strange woman is a deep pit. He that is abhorred of the Lord shall fall therein. See? So meaning what? If the Lord ain't dealing with you, you're gonna fall into the pits of America. You're gonna stand the cauldron of America, and you're gonna get bored here. See, the heat is on. The heat is already. The Lord already cut the stove on this place, and it's gonna get to the point it's gonna start bubbling. You can see the steam right before the water start bubbling. It's gonna get to the point the water finna start bubbling. These prophecies about to crank up, man. But it says it will probably. Let's see. Bear with me. That wasn't it. Let me see if I can find it. I thought that was it. Okay, it was Proverbs. Okay, this is it. Proverbs 23 and verse 27. It says, "For a whore is a deep ditch, and a strange woman is a narrow pit. She also lies in wait as for a prey." And that lets you know that America is really a predator. It tells you that you walk in the midst of snares, man. This place is full of snares and traps. Like I said, now only thing you thinking about to make it is go to school. That's a trap, man. That's a snare, man. But it says she lied also in wait as for a prey, and increaseth the transgressors among men. See, to let you know that this is the source of the wickedness, man. You can do whatever the hell you want here in America, man. Ain't no limit to it. Now, you see things are being pushed forth to, being a homo, that's the so-called norm here. Just being a nigga, this nigga culture, that's the norm here. Pedophilia, that's normal now here, man. It just had I believe it was last night, actually, they had some children goddamn doing a walkway at a drag show, man. So we just another step to pedophilia just being wide open now, legal. Because if you go into it, it's actual group called NAMBLA. National American Man Boy Love Association. Which is pedophilia, man. But they open with it. But it's going to get to the point, all these things is going to be wild, and they'll let you know we at the height of wickedness. We at the height of the hurtful works being fulfilled. The so-called white man and his influence, man. So, and what's going to be the results of this? Destruction, man. What else what else left for this is destruction. This is Job 4 and verse 7. It says, "Remember, I pray thee, whoever perish being innocent, or where were the righteous cut off." So yeah, you can't, you can't goddamn just say, why is you acting like this? Why do you reclaim the destruction of America? Why is I'm gonna read this again. It says, "Remember, I pray that whoever perish being innocent, or where were the righteous cut off." So meaning what? You can't get mad at me because the scriptures say this place is going to be destroyed. Oh, because it tells you that Sodom was left for an example, man. Meaning what? That actually is going to play out again on a bigger scale, man. So we proclaiming that this place is going to be destroyed by thermonuclear fire because this place ain't innocent. That's why it was a question mark. Who perished being innocent? This place is no far from innocent. This is through America, you being subscribed to this place, you're going to be held accountable as well, man. That's why it says, even so, even as I have seen, they that apply iniquity and sow wickedness reap the same. See? So meaning what? You're going to get destroyed. It says, by the blast of the Most High they perish, and by the breath of his nostrils were they consumed. See? So Yahweh Shimon Shah is going to destroy this nigga, man. By by the blast of the Most High, which is ultimately those missiles. But it starts by the way of this breath, this word, man. We just quoted in 2 16 chapter, we read it. The sword is sent. Who sent it? It was Yahweh by Shema Shai. It was by a message first. Then ultimately it manifested into the sword. You know? But it says, yep, that was it, matter of fact. So we're gonna try to wrap it up now. Let's get this in the book of Genesis, chapter 15. Cause like I said, ultimately, this devil, he has ran his course. All this madness that he'll push forth throughout the planet Earth, this man and his influence of wickedness throughout the planet Earth, we're in a time now where it's been ripened, and now it's time to reap. So let's get this in the book of Genesis 15 and verse 16. And it reads, well, matter of fact, I started just going back to, like I said, Egypt. They was actually, the Lord was building them up to a superpower to judge them, man. That's how they got all that gold, that great substance, So we can leave out with it. So let's jump up Genesis 15, and I started 13. It says, and he said unto Abram, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. See, and that's talking about Egypt, man. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterward shall they come out with great substance. See, and that was Egypt. Like I said, it was through Joseph breaking them dreams down, and them having all them other nations flock to Egypt for them to even get that substance. For the nation of Israel to leave out of Egypt from that substance, it started out by Joseph being sold into captivity, and breaking that dream down to Pharaoh, and the 7 years of plenty and 7 years of the famine, breaking all that down so Egypt can become a superpower, just so the Lord can overthrow and we leave out with the gold and shit, man. It was a build-up, It says, continue on, it said, and thou shalt go to thy fathers in peace. Thou shalt be buried in a good old age. It says, but in the fourth generation shall they come hither again. See? So in this fourth generation, throughout the course of 4 generations, through this course of time, throughout the course of 4 generations, it says that we're gonna come back, we're gonna come to this land. It says, for the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet full. See? So it was gonna be throughout the course of 4 generations where that iniquity is gonna be fulfilled, where we're gonna be justified and taking that land. And now we in that time where throughout this man's iniquity is being fulfilled, it's gonna be justified, these missiles in America. And ultimately, it's going to be justified over down to 18 verse, because it tells you Esau Edom is this devil. He cannot do good, and he's not going to behold the majesty of the Lord. Meaning what? He's not going to get this. He's not going to understand his knowledge. What's that? I believe that Genesis 4th chapter. It said, "From thy face I shall be hid." So the Lord hid his face from Esau. He would never get his. He won't even get an inkling, or even try to act right. He can't do it. But just going back to this, it tells the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet full. So, but it took over a course of 4 generations for it to be fulfilled. Then they was going to get that judgment. But as you can see now in this modern time, the so-called white man Esau Edom, we come to a time where his iniquity is about to be fulfilled. And ultimately, it's going to be kept off by the way of him implement this microchip, the RFID microchip, which is the MLB, the mark of the beast. So, matter of fact, I ended off on this in the book of Psalms 140. Psalms 140. And I started, probably get to the point, Psalm 140 in verse 8. It says, grant not, O Lord, the desires of the wicked. And what's this man desiring? To crown his enterprise success. Which, like I said, we in the last few steps of these things. This nigga was able to give you people social security cards and everything's going digital. He got you thinking a certain way. You know, we here, man. But ultimately, that desire is him crowning his new world order success. We at the cusp of those things, but the scripture said he's not going to swallow it down. He's not going to reap the benefits. Oh, Lazarus, the rich man, he had certain things he did in his lifetime, but it got to the point it was over with, man. You know. But it says, grant not, O Lord, the desires of the wicked, further not his wicked device. See, so meaning what? It's going to get to the point this man is going to implement that too. It's going to become mandatory, but it's not going to be furthered. You know, it's going to only get to a certain point because that's what he was going to, that's what scripture said it was going to be. He was just going to implement it. It wasn't like everybody was going to get the chip. He ain't going to get this off the ground. That's why I said further not his wicked device, lest they exalt themselves, Salah. See, so meaning what? This man is not going to once again cover the earth, man. See, he has ran his course. He already did what he was supposed to do. Now it's time for you to be moved out the way. Now it's time for the real rulers to. See, you were just an example of what not to do, on how not to rule. You know? So it can be an example of how to rule. You know, I think that's in the book of 2 Ezra 13. Matter of fact, let me go on and get that. Not 2 Ezra 13, 2 Ezra 11. You fulfill everything that you had to do. You know, you can only fill a 2 liter up to 2 liters. That's what this devil finna find out the hard way. You know, so this is 2 Ezra 11 and 44. It reads, the highest also have looked upon the proud times, and behold, they are ended, and his abominations are fulfilled. See, in the proud times are concerning the Edomites, so-called white man, and his rulership. And behold, they are behold. Don't you see the events like we just read in 2 Ezra, the 9th chapter, the events is playing on the planet Earth? They're just like seeing somebody on a deathbed coughing up blood. These things are ended. We at the height of wickedness. We at the height of pride. Now, the next step is destruction, wasteness. So yeah, I just hold to edify. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Green Millstone. Shalom to the elect that teach the word in all truth and sincerity. Shalom to the listeners as well. And DTA, abide with all. Soon, very soon.